Hello friends, happy Wednesday. Please excuse the voice and the mess. Um, I'm either having like severe allergies or I got something. I'm not sure which. It really doesn't matter. Anyway, um, we are here for our Wednesday wins. So Saturday I was able to go to the temple, which was really nice. I did a full session instead of the shorter things that I usually do. But that was good. And then beforehand, I went to the spa and got my legs waxed. I haven't shaved since 2020 after the whole coma coat thing. Like, my hip mobility has always been bad, and I had this membership at the spa and I didn't know what to do with it. So that's just kind of what I do. I go every 2 months now because my hair is so fine that that's all that's needed, which is nice. Um, excuse me. Um, Even with being under the weather, I have hit my steps every day and done my morning routine every day. There's a lot of mornings where I was like, I just don't want to do it. And there's a lot of days where I'm just like, I don't want to get my steps in. Like last night, it was like all I wanted to do was go to bed. And I was like 2,000 steps away. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are sick, go to bed. Your body needs it. I just had like I've gone a month hitting my steps every day, and that's the most I've ever done in my life. So I didn't want to like lose my streak. Um, well, it's probably just an email. I Another good news. I hit the 200 subbies. I think I'm at 206 now, so I'm like 44 away from being able to do my giveaway. Shameless plug. Ooh, ooh. Don't do that, Lauren. I am at a preschool all this week again this week, which is awesome. I'm at the special education preschool, and a few things have been happening at the preschool. So last week I was at the full day preschool, and we had, I don't think it's like the preschool boss person come in, because they have two different names, but one ends in an A and one does not. And we had the one that did not end with an A come in, and I think she's like the assistant or the second in command of the preschools of the one that does end in an A. So they came in and they were talking to me and they kind of looked at me and they were watching me do the teaching. Sorry, I have a couple of playlists going. One of them is Janet Teach Day Travel because I heard she was really close to hitting her monetization and she only needs like 700 hours left, so go play that one. But I'm also playing Bria Snyder's, and it's one with like animals, dolphins and turtles and stuff. So I'm getting distracted. But they came in and they're like, "Oh, you're Lauren Thomas," and I was like, "Yeah." And like they came in to bring us some supplies, but then something else happened, and I ended up having to call the Department of Child Safety. But that's like another thing. But they were like, we might have a long-term sub position come open, and if you're interested, your name has been thrown around. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And I was like, oh, what is it for? And it was for the STAR program, which is our nonverbal autism program. And I was like, I really don't want to do IEPs. Would I be in charge of IEPs? And they said, no IEPs. I would just have to track goals. And I'm totally cool with that. But they said that it needs to get approved. And then the supervisor of the preschool texted me. So she was talking about it with me too. So my name is in the running for that. And then yesterday, a couple of the eval team came into the preschool I was at because I was at a special education classroom preschool, and which political term is ESS, by the way. And they were like, oh, kind of squinting at me, and I was like, I'm Lauren Thomas, and they're like, Denise's daughter, which is my mom, Mama Thomas. I was like, yeah, that's me, and they're like, oh yeah, because everyone there loves my mom. Like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a full-time teaching position at preschool that has opened up. And I was like, oh. And they're like, yeah, you should apply. And I was like, okay. Which is good that my name is being thrown around. And like, I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I'm a little nervous about IEPs. And they're like, yeah, we do have a lot. And I was like, well, at the high school I had 35. Which, if you don't know what an IEP is, it's an individual education plan. So if a student is eligible for special education services, they get an IEP, and it's a legally binding document. And the thing is, school districts get sued over them all the time, and that stresses me out. Like, they're not super hard to write, but you have to be extremely clear in them. Otherwise, the district can be sued, and it's your fault. And that stresses me out to no end. And so I was like, yeah, I don't particularly want to do the IEPs because they scare me. They're like, yeah, you would have a lot. And I was like, yeah, I had 35. And they're like, yeah, it's about the same. And I was like, just talking to them, I was like, oh, is it the STAR room? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay, what you get? Nonverbal autism room. And then when they left, I kind of was thinking about it. And I was like, so in our general education full day preschool, we can have up to 20 kids. At the special education preschool, technically, legally, it's 18 kids, but they like to cap it at 15. And I asked, I was like, what is the STAR? And they're like, that one's 8. And I was like, well, if there's 3, because there's A, B, and C sections. So A comes Monday, Tuesday, Friday in the morning. B comes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday in the afternoon. And then there's C group, which comes Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then Friday afternoons. I don't know why they did that with the C group. There's just a minimum. If they have special education services, there's a minimum number of minutes of services that they get every month. I get legally. So, the only exception is like if school is out for breaks or if there's an emergency and like school has to be canceled. Like the high school, we lost water on occasion because of some construction, and they would hit the water pipe and the whole town would lose water. Things like that. Like we're in Arizona. If you are without water for, I think, more than 2 hours, you have to send the kids home. You legally have to. But and so if it's 8 in that class, then it's a cap of 24. So I don't know where they're getting 35 from, unless they're planning on putting me on an eval team, which I don't want to do that. Which I really don't want to do that. Excuse me. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. I did end up filling up the application. If I don't get it, I'm not going to be hurt. If I do get it, awesome. There is still the plan of moving, and they're saying to Utah in May for my family. But my mom does not want to sell the house anymore. She wants to rent it to my brother, and my dad kind of wants me to stay to help my brother, which I don't know if I necessarily want. But if that is what ends up happening, I'm going to need a full-time work. So, I mean, it could be good. It's nice to be positively thought of, I think. Because my first text from Kurt, the boss of preschool, was a thank you message for suffering so much in preschool. Because I had done, at the end of this week, it's basically 3 weeks straight in preschool, which I think they have a hard time finding subs for because preschool's rough. I think one day was not at a preschool, and that was because I already had something filled up before that. So, I mean, there is that. What else is good that's happening? Fall break is coming. That's cool. I do have which was stressful because it's 2 weeks of no school, so it's 2 weeks of no work. But I did get a week-long house sitting job. I'll probably make what I would make in one day at the school. But, I mean, it's better than nothing. And I don't have to, like, it's nice. Let's see. That's already a lot of good things, and this is probably my longest Wednesday wins video ever, and my hair is sticking straight up. Guys, I have this one gray hair right here that likes to just, like, poke straight up. Likes to announce itself. Ha. But yeah, no, good times. I kind of rambled a lot in this video, and I'm sorry for that, because the rambling was not necessarily a win. It was just kind of rambling. So, sorry, I wake up all the time at night now with this stuffy nose. I think I was up every hour or two last night. But, thank you for watching and subscribing, and I hope you guys have a wonderful win. Drop your wins below so that I can celebrate you, because honestly, what's the point of winning if there's no one to celebrate with? Alright, bye.